Undersea fiber optic cables, which carry 99% of the world's international telecommunications traffic, are located deep below the ocean's surface. There are over 900,000 miles or 1.4 million kilometers of cable sitting on the ocean floor, enough to go from Fiji to Sydney, then to the moon, then around the moon 51 times, then back to Sydney, then around the Earth 3 times, and then to Melbourne. Undersea cables are vulnerable to sabotage, espionage, shark bitage, and other technological infrastructure threats. The United States and China have been in a heated debate over the Simi 6 cable, which is expected to be the follow-up to Southeast Asia, Middle East, West Europe 5, or SMWX for short. A fiber optic cable carries information as light, with flashes of laser at one end creating sequences of light on and off that get interpreted at the other end as ones and zeros. An optic fiber is a thin strand of ultra-pure glass engineered to promise total internal reflection. The signal weakens as it travels, so cables have amplifiers at regular intervals down the line to boost it. On the ocean floor, cables get their power from a layer of copper around the fiber that carries electricity all the way from the shore. Other layers include a steel wire to shield the cable from oceanic pressure, polyethylene to prevent static electricity and corrosion, crush-resistant armor to resist crushing, and tar-soaked nylon yarn on the outside to protect from ship anchors, shark bites, and other horrors of the deep. Transatlantic cables tend to cost about $40,000 per mile, or about $25,000 per kilometer. Sometimes, one huge company like Google will pay for their own, but more often, multiple companies will go in as partners, splitting the responsibility of paying for and managing the cable in exchange for owning some percent of its bandwidth. This was the case for Simi 6, funded by a consortium of 12-plus companies from various countries, including China, the US, France, Egypt, Sri Lanka, and more. In early 2020, the consortium gave the contract to HMN Tech, a relatively new player in the undersea cable game, because they could build Simi 6 for $500 million, $250 million less than Subcom. The US took this personally, believing that HMN was too cozy with the Chinese government, and that if they built the cable, the government could all too easily install surveillance equipment. The U.S. Trade and Development Agency offered $3.8 million in quote-unquote training grants, as long as they picked Subcom to get the contract. However, U.S. diplomats spread rumors that the U.S. government would sanction HMN, promising that the companies that own the cable would lose their U.S. clients and go bankrupt if they didn't just let Subcom build it. The U.S. also got people talking about the security risks, how easy it might be for China to put remote spying equipment on an HMN cable, even though it wasn't going to make landfall in China. In February 2022, enough consortium members slipped their vote, and Subcom got the contract. Simi 6 is expected to be up and running by 2025. In conclusion, undersea cables are a crucial part of global commerce, military secrets, and the internet. However, they are also vulnerable to sabotage, espionage, and shark bitage threats. As the world continues to grapple with these issues, it is essential to remember that the internet and the world's superpowers must work together to ensure the safety and security of our underwater infrastructure. Embark on a journey into the fascinating world of science with us. Hit that subscribe button and join our community for a weekly dose of mind-bending discoveries and awe-inspiring wonders. Subscribe now and stay curious.